In the world of celebrity chefs, very few people carry the kind of energy, humor, and unstoppable drive that Guy Fieri brings into every room he enters. Fans know him as the larger-than-life Mayor of Flavortown, the man who transformed bold food and outrageous personality into an entire empire. But behind the sunglasses, the spiky blonde hair, and the iconic catchphrases, there is a man who has survived more physical pain, danger, and close calls than most people could imagine. And recently, during filming for Flavortown Food Fight, one of the worst accidents of his career struck without warning. It happened in an instant, a freak misstep that would leave him battling pain, immobility, and a long road to recovery. On what seemed like a normal, energetic shooting day, the kitchen set was glowing, the crew was buzzing, and the vibe was exactly what viewers love about Guy Fieri: fast-moving, fun, and full of flavor. While preparing for the next shot, Guy stepped toward a small set of stairs on the set. What should have been a routine movement suddenly turned into a nightmare. His foot slipped. One leg lunged forward while the other snagged on the threshold behind him, twisting his entire body into a position no human should ever be forced into. In his own words, he looked like he was performing the splits, but the damage happening inside his leg was far more serious. As his right leg compressed, the thickest, strongest part of his quadriceps muscle ripped apart. Not strained, not pulled, torn fully in half. The pain exploded instantly. The room shifted from laughter and rhythm to shock. Crew members froze. Production halted, and the man who had powered through flames, rodeos, and chaos for years fell to the ground in agony. Later, when a doctor examined the injury, he told Guy that in 20 years of medical practice, he had never seen a tear that severe. It wasn't just another injury, this was one of the biggest, most brutal muscle tears possible. The diagnosis was uncompromising. For the next 8 weeks, Guy Fieri would need crutches and a wheelchair to get around. This was not a man used to being still. He runs restaurants, shoots multiple shows, travels constantly, and pours all his energy into work. Now, suddenly, movement was out of the question. Even everyday tasks became battles. But true to his personality, he did not sink into frustration. Instead, he turned to humor, resilience, and his family, using the same fiery spirit that made him a household name. This timing collided directly with Thanksgiving, a holiday Guy loves, a celebration where food, chaos, and family blend perfectly. But with his leg immobilized, he couldn't do the cooking. He admitted that this year, his sons Hunter Fieri and Ryder Fieri would take over the kitchen, while he would quarterback from the wheelchair. Anyone who knows Guy can instantly imagine him rolling around the kitchen, pointing, giving instructions, correcting seasoning, and shouting encouragement from his chair like a general commanding an army. Even in pain, he refused to step away from the heart of the holiday. Yet what many fans don't realize is that this wasn't even the worst injury Guy Fieri has lived through. His past is filled with moments that could have ended far worse. During a rodeo accident, he once found himself face to face with a bull that didn't care that Guy Fieri was a famous TV star. The bull kicked him with full force, right in the side of the head. That kind of impact could cause permanent damage or worse, but Guy survived. In another rodeo-related fall, he experienced something even more terrifying. He began bleeding internally, and doctors initially had no idea why. He remembers the moment vividly. He hit the ground, fading in and out of consciousness while someone urgently repeated, "Stay with me, Guy. Talk to me! Talk to me!" It was clear something was desperately wrong. He was rushed into medical care where he spent days going in and out of surgery, with doctors struggling to isolate the internal bleeding. For 4 long days, he lay in recovery, unsure of what the outcome would be. Yet somehow he came out the other side, ready to cook, ready to laugh, and ready to bring more life into every room he entered. These moments aren't just random stories, they show the unbelievable resilience of a man who refuses to break. Whether it's food, family, or unexpected danger, Guy Fieri faces each challenge with the same unstoppable energy. That's why fans admire him. He isn't just a chef or a host, he's a symbol of perseverance, humor, and grit. And even when life tries to knock him down, he gets back up with the same fiery spirit. But even he has his limits, and some lessons come with flames, literally. One Thanksgiving years ago, Guy decided to deep fry a turkey like countless daring home cooks. And just like the famous internet videos, everything went catastrophically wrong. The moment the turkey hit the oil, a massive fireball erupted, racing upward with terrifying speed. Flames burst around the pot, the metal buckled, and before Guy could react, the entire fryer tipped over. The turkey shot out like a flaming comet streaking across the lawn. Guy joked that it looked exactly like the burnout trail from Back to the Future when the DeLorean launches into time travel. The turkey skidded across the grass, blazing, and slammed into the fence. It was chaos, dangerous, ridiculous, and unforgettable, but it also became one of Guy's most iconic Thanksgiving stories. All of these experiences, from bulls to flames to catastrophic muscle tears, paint a clearer picture of who Guy Fieri really is. He may host shows, taste outrageous dishes, and ride through towns in a flame-covered convertible, but beneath all that, he is a man who has endured serious trauma and still greets life with excitement. Fans love him not only because he celebrates food with passion, but because he brings authenticity. He laughs at his mistakes, he powers through his pain, he treats people with heart, and he never lets hardship silence his joy. The accident on the set of Flavortown Food Fight was one of the worst moments of his career. A split-second slip turned into a devastating injury, but even as he sat in a wheelchair, unable to walk, he continued directing, inspiring, and staying involved. To some people, it may have looked like a setback. To Guy, it was simply another hurdle to launch himself over. With his son stepping into the kitchen, his family rallying around him, and his fans sending support, he focused on healing. But he never stopped planning his return, because there is one thing you can always count on. Guy Fieri comes back stronger. After rodeos, after internal bleeding, after flames, after muscle tears, he always rises. The accident didn't end his story. It simply added another impossible moment that he turned into a victory, and when he finally walks back onto the set, healed and full of energy, the world of Flavortown will roar back to life. In every challenge he has faced, Guy Fieri has shown humor, toughness, and heart. His injury may have slowed him down, but it didn't stop him. It only reminded the world that behind the fun personality is a warrior, a survivor, and a man whose love for cooking, storytelling, and family can't be shaken by anything. Not a bull, not fire, and not even one of the worst leg injuries a doctor has ever seen. His journey continues, and the comeback will be a celebration of the unstoppable spirit that made him a legend.